What's good with it, Black Ghost TV family? Double salute as always. Your boy Fluenceboxing. I'm back in the building, man. It's been such a long time, and I have an exclamation. Oh, I said exclamation. I mean exclamation. Explanation. See, I got to get my words together. My bad, y'all. It's been that long. I can't even say the right words. But I got an explanation for the reason why I've been gone so long. We're going to get into that. I do want to say salute to my guy Zen. He's here, you know what I'm saying, to help your boy out, you know what I'm saying, to get my shit together for this live. What's good with it, Zen? How you feeling, Doug?
It's the deal with y'all party people out there, man. Hope y'all having a great week, boy. If y'all not, hope you're having a better day.
Happy Friday to the people as always, man. The weekend is amongst us. My bad. I had to close some tabs on my side of the game. I didn't know I had so many
Salute to
tabs up.
all the
But
veterans out there that put their body through hell, baby.
be right, be gracious, be led by God. With that being said, we back again. Look, I didn't mean to be gone for so long, y'all. I was going through a sickness. I was actually supposed, I just realized I didn't post my daily check-in where basically I was telling everybody the situation. So I'm gonna post that probably a little bit later. But long story short, I got sick. It's pretty bad. Y'all bear with me too. As soon as I went live, you know what I'm saying? The Wi-Fi went to act like they don't love me. But I got sick. The situation is what it is, man. It was bad. I wasn't able to do nothing at all, period. So that's why we here where we are now, and that's why there was such a long hiatus. But no reason to dwell on the past. I'm just happy we here, and I'm not feeling the way I was feeling anymore. I'm actually probably like I would say like 80% better for the most part. But either way it goes, man. A lot of things to talk about tonight, but at the same time, not too many things to talk about tonight. Just gonna be rifting, you know what I'm saying? Just back, glad being back on live type shit. You know what I'm saying? Guys in here for, I think at least like 35, 40 minutes. So that's a good time. Um, but yeah, man, anything you want to add to that, or talk to the people, or say to the people for the little bit of time, you know what I'm saying, you yourself been gone as well, you know what I'm saying, anything you want to catch the people up on?
If you're in the market, keep all your chips. Stay strong. I don't know if anybody, Flu probably not on game, but I'm on game. A lot of these dudes that are billionaires and stuff, like Amazon, they lost $1 trillion this past, I think it was a week or something, in value or something like that. I forgot what it was. It was some, let me get the information for y'all, man. So y'all not out here like, man, this man just started bumping them lips. Nah, we got the facts over here, boy. Y'all can Google these joints. Hold on.
Keep your chips, man. Keep your chips.
This
I know what you're talking about. There's been a lot of losses when it comes to that type of world.
Boom.
I don't be in that
Crypto
world, but I know what you're talking about.
billionaires have lost $15.5 billion in less than 2 weeks as the entire crypto market plunges. Nailed it. Amazon becomes the first company ever to lose a $1 trillion in stock value. Elon Musk claims he had no choice but to fire thousands of Twitter employees just days after he purchased the company. Meta lays off more than 1,100 employees.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Facebook planning large-scale layoffs of thousands of workers following higher freeze, 70% fall in share price this year. What I'm telling y'all this is, it's all a game, man. And don't miss out on something that you thought was going to be great, and it was going to be great, and is going to be great. This is all a scare tactic for the common folk that can't afford to have money gone to be like, let me take this money out. Because what they're trying to do is make the separation crazier, right? Everything's been more prevalent in the crypto market, right? Everything's been, you see it all everywhere. Am I wrong, Flu? UFC, basketball, football, you see it everywhere, right? Is it ironic that you see it everywhere and all of a sudden it's tanking? Come on, man. It's all a tactic because they had too many people invested into it. They're like, we need to have less investors so when it booms, we can get more of the profit. All this is a scare tactic to the people like us that don't know necessarily the ins and outs of what's going on to know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm trying to tell y'all now, if you have rent money, don't go put it in here. But if you got money to look, but if you got money to spend, you got 150, 20. If it's 1,000, whatever you got, and you feel like this is expendable, I was gonna put it on some BS. Do some research now, where everything is affordable to a degree, and you figure out what you feel like will be the next big little thing put your scraps up in there, and you just manifest it, man. Think about it as you were going to waste it on some booze, some women, some entertainment anyway. You might as well try to, you feel me, be able to capitalize and make some type of profit off of it. All I'm saying is don't be discouraged because these dudes not worried about losing that money because they know they're going to get it right back. You think that people was mad and scared that the EDD, the PPP, they didn't give a damn. They
Hell
like,
nah.
yeah, go ahead.
Hell nah.
We going to get it right back. And they were right.
So Zen trying to put y'all up on game right now. He's trying to say, stay strong, people.
Stay
strong, stay solid. Don't let no discouragement come your way. Like me right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Xfinity ain't showing me no love right now all of a sudden. When it was doing absolutely amazing things. Me and Zen was talking for like 15 minutes on this joint. As soon as I went love, Xfinity's like, we ain't gonna stay strong, but you gotta stay solid. You can't let it keep you out the game. You know what I'm saying? Keep one foot in, one foot kind of at the, you're ready to, if you gotta, do what you gotta do. But no, you give me your game, man. Don't, and that's it. That's with anything too. Remember, that's with anything. Even if you want to, translate that into, you know what I'm saying, work. You know what I'm saying? You want to translate that into exercise. You know what I'm saying? You want to translate that into, you know what I'm saying, trying to take care of your woman, trying to take care of your kids. Whatever the case may be, man. When shit get hard, man, don't get shook. Keep moving, keep grooving, and just hope that it ends up getting better. Because that's really all you got. You know what I'm saying?
And this is just something I started doing. I kind of slacked the last 2-3 days because I just been tired and lots been going on. So I've been going to sleep earlier. So I haven't been doing it like I was supposed to, but I've been writing down every day what I've been doing. And then I write down what I'm going to do the next day and how I'm going to be trying to get better from the day before. That's what I do every night. You guys don't have to do that. All I say is I advise y'all just to write stuff down just so you can see it and so you can manifest that and so you can start doing it. So I told myself I'm going to start getting to the gym no matter how tired I am from work. And I've stayed with it. I'm going to the gym. I've been doing my cardio. I've been running. Been doing my ball handling. I've been getting everything crispy. I've been doing my calisthenics. Flu, you be proud of me, dog. I'm really out here getting my push-ups in, dog. I'm out here really getting them in, boy. I'm trying to get like you, though, because Flu got these push-ups he do where he go down, and then he go to the left, and then he go to the right, and he go to the left, and then boom, that's one, and then he'll go right back down.
Be frozen. I was like, I don't do those no more. It was back when I was a young nigga, and I ain't have equipment.
Nah, dog. I'm telling you, Flu used to be on 100, man. Y'all don't even understand, man. He used to have this pull-up bar. He used to have to do these thing called headbangers, dog. It was crazy.
Zen is the only person I know. Hopefully, I don't get broke up too much. Zen is the only person I know who will bring up old workouts like they better than new workouts. He's the only person I know who will do that. Only person. There's a lot better ways to build muscle than doing headbangers and variations of push-ups, right? I was doing that then because I was broke.
Hey, doesn't mean that it's still not good, man.
No, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying maximizing it, like depending on what you're trying to achieve in your fitness goals. Calisthenics definitely are very beneficial. But at the same time, you want to make sure, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you're complementing that with something else. But it all depends on what your goals is, I don't know what your goals are. If your goals are to build muscle, if your goals is to, lean up, if your goals is to just, build up body strength, that's all different. Body strength, of course, you want to do calisthenics and things like that. But,
maybe
it all depends on what your goals is.
Young man right now that don't got the money to go out here and go get that membership. He needs about a headbanger. So
if you broke, calisthenics is the way to go. But I'm like, that's motivation. If you don't know the greatest calisthenics at this point, you broke. That means you don't even got the motivation to do what you got to do. I'm not even gonna lie to you too. I'm trying not to get mad. I'm just like I'm about to vent on here, man. I'm so mad right now because I'm like, my internet was fine, and all of a sudden, as soon as I went live, that joint wanted to act like it ain't got no love for me. So I got to call it out. So that's partly why I'm just like, why y'all doing this to me? Whole week I ain't seen the family, and then the internet says I wanted to make it hard on the family. But we gonna keep going either way it goes. By the way, before we get into everything, man, make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, show some love, all that good stuff. Notification gang, man. We're gonna be back tomorrow, of course. We got Fluence Lounge happening tomorrow, man. We got some good fights going on. One of them is going to be one of the fights, or at least you could say the card that we're going to, somewhat get into. Probably not in the beginning. We got some other topics we want to talk about, but obviously UFC 281. And then also tomorrow we got Floyd Mayweather versus Deiji. I'm going to be watching that. Zen doesn't like I bring it up, but I'm going to be watching that. I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
What time it come on, man?
It's in Abu Dhabi. So it's probably going to be like around. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna assume it's probably gonna be
watching the Nets Clippers game.
What time is that at?
1 o'clock. So 3 o'clock your time.
I don't think I gotta look and see what time the Deiji card is, because I'm like I think it's either like late Saturday where it goes on basically Sunday, for if you're in Dubai, or it's gonna be like early Saturday. I'm gonna guess though it's gonna be late Saturday. I think it's gonna be around the same time as like UFC 281 and all that stuff, since there's not really no big boxing events.
Didn't Floyd just fight like 3 weeks ago, bro?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know. That's what I'm telling you, man. It's that bull. No way you can fight
exhibition.
Bull. He's
That
getting his
exhibition
money
fight.
Respect, but it's bull, bro. Sorry. It's bull. It's bull. Bull jive. Isn't that what Shannon be saying? Bull jive.
Look, I ain't mad at it. You gotta get your money, regardless. I don't judge nobody for getting their money. So I'm like, that's how he wants to get his money. That's how he wants to get his money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problems with it.
What's up with Tank, man? I ain't hearing no news on Tank, man. God,
I do got some news on Tank. I do want to ask you this, because there was something that you before we get into like the fighting, boxing, and stuff like that, you said you wanted to make a comment in regards to the Kyrie situation.
Oh, well, it was really a question for you. I want to know what
Okay.
you really thought about everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you were different.
Before I say my answer, we're not gonna go too long into this because we'll get into the fights and all that stuff we'll talk about. Go ahead. I want to hear. Go ahead. Go ahead. Put the question out there. Then also I want to hear your response to it. How you feel about it. So put your opinion on it. Then I'll go ahead and do my response to it. I want to real quick. I'm gonna go disconnect my TV real quick, y'all. Just so I'm trying to get my internet flowing. But go ahead.
Well, how you gonna hear the question? How this nigga gonna hear the question and he gonna leave? I mean, no sense. Oh, hey, anybody right now, the 2 viewers, I got a mixtape coming out. I'll probably say it again later in the podcast. I got a mixtape coming out. If y'all can show some support, hopefully Flue can get it uploaded on here, but it'll be on SoundCloud. I'm gonna send them the link to it. We have a SoundCloud. It'll be in the link for that, and then I'll also put it on Spinrilla and Daft Piff. I don't know if anybody still uses those platforms, but if you do, they'll be on that. And yeah, man, put some time and some effort into that joint. So hopefully y'all rocking with that, man. So you know what I'm saying? Mixtape gonna come out next Sunday because it's my auntie birthday. So I'm gonna release it on my auntie birthday. So yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Because you asked me to ask the question, but then you leave. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna ask the question twice.
This nigga didn't hear me. I said, well, I guess it's not your fault. My shit is breaking up. I didn't say just ask the question. Like, ask the question and also, put how your feelings are behind the question, and then I'll respond to that. But this is getting mad, irritated. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This keeps going on. I might just have to because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, my shit was cool, and all of a sudden I hit live, and this shit is acting up. But go ahead.
So my question was, how you feel about the Kyrie situation, and how do you feel like, and do you agree with how they're going about the way they're going about it? So that's the question. And then for me, and if you want to touch up on the Ye, because I feel like they're kind of similar. They're different, of course, but similar in regard on how they're attacking these brothers in the media. But my opinion on it, I think that it's very interesting because they've done something like, and we're going to use the word untouchables. The untouchables have done stuff like this in the past, but I feel like it's different. I feel like they got way more involved than I feel like they usually have. They're usually a little bit more subtle, but I feel like how they're trying to align the certain people together to make their point, I feel like they're kind of showing their hand in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's very interesting how certain people are saying certain things where it's like, it's interesting on what they're saying and how they're saying it, and then later retracting or trying to add on to what they've already said and clean it up, if that makes sense. So it's like when I see stuff like that, I think that is interesting because it's like, did you really believe or stand on what you really initially said, or was that something that was, kind of whispered to you for you to kind of like mention? You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's just interesting because it's just like if somebody can come out, you know what I'm saying? Like, say if you was to do something, right, and then it was looked at a certain way, but then you came out and you explained the reasoning on what you did and how you really feel upon that situation, and then even say you apologize, but then they say like, nah, that's not good enough. I think that's crazy to me because it's like, well, I can't force you to accept what I'm telling you, but this is what it is. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I think that's interesting because I feel like other groups of humans, I feel like if they were to do something similar like that, like they don't get is crucified like the way it's going right now, right? And I don't want to start, that's how I'm seeing it. And then if you reply, then I can bring up some examples on how certain people have said certain things, but later down the line has gotten swept under the rug, and everything's kind of low key back to normal for them in a sense.
So you're basically saying you feel like it's unfair treatment to an extent.
I just think it's at the end of the day, whatever you do, you got a consequence to it. But I feel like they're going the extra mile, right? It's like getting whooped and then getting another whooping and then getting everything taken away. Now you can't do. It's like, dang, like all off for one. You know what I'm saying? You already apologize. You try to make it right. You try to, do something. And it's just like, nah, like I don't know. I just feel like it's excessive force, in my opinion. Okay. It's kind of like if somebody's being difficult getting in handcuffs, that doesn't mean shoot them. You know what I mean? It's like they're wrestling with you, but once they're calm and they say, okay, my bad, that doesn't give you the right to be like, nah, it's too late for that. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. That might be a little extreme, but that's what I'm just saying. It's excessive.
No, I definitely hear what you're saying. Hopefully I don't be too choppy when it comes to my response. So y'all let me know. But look, at the end of the day, I you know what I'm saying, as much as I had my feelings toward Kyrie as far as basketball, that hasn't changed. It's always going to be the same. I will continue to say he's overrated. I will continue to say he's not the player a lot of people try to say he was. As far as a man, Kyrie is showing to be a bigger man than, anybody in the current NBA right now. So, me personally, what I'm seeing, what they're doing to him, their response to how they're going to, supposedly punish him, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised in the fact of someone like Kyrie was, I won't say willing, but, he wasn't scared to put an opinion out there that was against, basically a specific group that controlled his narrative when it comes to finances. I think personally he didn't know that was the case when he, put that link out there because I haven't seen the documentary, but if you do a little bit of research about it, a lot of people are saying the reason why a lot of people are offended by Kyrie promoting that particular video is because supposedly it says that, a particular part of history didn't happen that was very detrimental to a certain group of people. But actually the documentary didn't say that. Actually, it was that exact opposite. It was basically, there's a part in the documentary where it's basically making you question certain things and it's putting out certain information where you're like, well, is this real? Did this really happen? But then ultimately it goes on to confirm why it did happen. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you could, this happen, or I could, this fact happened. This person said this person said this. You can possibly believe this didn't happen. But then later on, it's like, oh, well, it just went down X, Y, Z to explain to us, well, if anyone tries to feed you that narrative, this is why it's wrong for the most part. But at the end of the day, we're going to allow you to make your own conclusion.
Yeah.
So me personally, I'm like, I never expected it to be this for something like this to happen in at least my lifetime with a basketball player. Like this makes me think back to Muhammad um
Ali.
what's his name? The shooter who got blackballed because he didn't want
Mohammed Radu.
yeah, he got blackballed because he didn't want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance because it was against his religion. And he was never able to play in a game again. I never thought I would see something like that happen during my era. I don't know if this is going to happen with Kyrie, but I think everything is interesting. Everything is timing. I think, especially in 2022 when everything is orchestrated, it's just it's very it stands out to me in the sense of why did all this stuff with Kanye West happen, the things he said, and then all of a sudden Kyrie happens right after. It's interesting. It almost seems calculated to an extent. I don't know from who, but it seems calculated. Now, as far as do I think the punishment is too harsh? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, what do we expect?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
If
we
you
shouldn't be
know what's
surprised
going
by
on,
this.
we should say. Because a lot of
We're
people don't know
going.
what's going on.
I'm like, look who you're going against. You thought it was going to be somebody just singing Kumbaya? You know what I'm saying? And it's not even the fact that you're even purposely going against them. I'm just like, this is who you're referencing. So you have to understand what's going to come from it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't be a Hebrew Israelite and be in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Israelite and be in the NBA.
you can't be a Hotep a nigga with the big golden boots and dreads and army pants and be in the NBA. I'm like, none of this is like, it's like, I feel like, and I know I'm freezing a lot. My bad, y'all. Hopefully, I'm 21 minutes in, man. I'm hoping by 40 minutes, this shit's going to start working. If it doesn't, God damn it, fuck it. But I'm like, when have you ever seen someone who was a quote unquote activist for, something in the black community and they're in the NBA? When's the last time you seen that?
Shit, never.
Okay. So you think Kyrie's just going to come in and last year he's going against the whole vaccination and then now this year he's, you know what I'm saying, almost piggybacking off of some of the things Kanye said, even though he's not. But it's like, well, he look at the documentary he's watching.
It's just
This
like
guy's a free thinker. Get him out of here. We don't allow free thinkers in the NBA. We know that.
We don't allow free thinkers in the NBA. We know that.
We know that's the case. That's nothing new. See if I can take my definition down.
It's crazy because to go on to your thing, a free thinker, I think what's interesting, like you said, there are two different things was different, right? Because Ye was name dropping while somebody else was just giving a link to something that you could go research and do your own thing. Well, you could research what Ye was saying too, but I'm just saying like Ye was putting it out there like these are the people, these are the untouchables that are doing this, and this, and they do. You know what I'm saying? He's having a rundown list versus Kyrie, he's sending a link, but they coexist because it's like they're talking about the untouchables, right? They're trying to distinguish those untouchables that are doing the things that they're doing. So I think that's what's interesting. And what's even more interesting is that, did you see the live that he did on Sunday? I don't know if you got to see it or not.
I was going to watch it, but I haven't watched it.
It's very crazy, bro, because I was telling the homie, I was like, he was so like calm, at peace, but like on some like he was talking as a father, if that makes sense, not as a basketball player. Like what he was just saying, he's like, we got to be better, we got to do better, we got to try to, build our youth up, teach the youth the right things. We got to start being better as people. Like, just what he was saying, like, like you might not agree with everything he was saying, but like he was, he wasn't coming as like, he didn't even speak about basketball not one time. He didn't talk about anything like that. He was just saying like what was on his spirit and what he felt like he had to talk to the people. But it was like his tone and his, if you just see it, it's like, dang, like he was really like calm. Like, anybody else losing money, getting suspended, getting all this, they could, they mentally could be like, this is too much, So just to see him in a calm state, in a peaceful state, was kind of very interesting to me. And I was like, brother, you know, he didn't seem like he was worried about the basketball aspect, even though I know that's what he wants to do. He loves basketball, but I can see he's like, nah, there's something bigger going on. And he's not trying to be the foot forward. He's like, I'm just trying to, you know, find me, you know, trying to figure out who I am.
Well, like what's interesting to me, well, let me start here. You know, Kyrie has, you know, he made it known probably like a couple years ago that, you know what I'm saying, he you know, life to him is bigger than basketball. So, and then once he kind of made that known, that's when you have the vaccination thing go on, then you have this go on. That's why I say it's like, you know, I can have my thoughts about him when it comes to basketball because basketball is basketball. But him as a human being and as a person, you can say that he is not a usual athlete. He is not the usual athlete where he is like, yo, I just, you know, like KD, like, let's just hoop. Let's just play basketball and let's just worry about basketball. And that's going to, and that will solve all our problems. Right. And that's the majority of people in the NBA. Like, you don't ever see somebody who is a free thinker necessarily while they're in the NBA. It may happen afterwards, but even that's rare because a lot of these guys end up Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Jalen Rose, Richard Jefferson, all these guys, you know, JJ Redick, they all end up just, you know, what do they end up being? You know, around that and speaking for the media, being a face for the media, a figurehead for the media, saying all the right things, etc. Like, it's a never-ending cycle when it comes to these guys. When it comes to, hey, once I'm in this entity, this is the entity I belong to, and that's something I remember when I was a kid, like watching the Inside the TNT stuff, and you know, Shaq and them, they would always be like, you know, we're a brotherhood. You know, there's only how many of us who've made the NBA. Like, we stay close, stay knit, and I used to always just think that it's so cool when I was a kid. But now that I'm older, to me, that's code word. Those are codes. Those are people saying that, like, if you want to be part of this, this is what we abide by.
Yeah, like,
and if you go against the grain, you're going to be looked at as outcast.
Because it's crazy that you said Muhammad Abdul Rauf. I hope I'm saying his name right. I know it's Muhammad Abdul. I think it's Muhammad Abdul Rauf. I think that's what it is. It's crazy you say that because that man was cold in the league. And I remember he had like a twitch at first too. And like it low-key went away once he converted his religion to Muslim, when he changed his name. Because I think he had a different name before that. Because he was cold at LSU. People don't remember, man. He was a dog at LSU. But it's crazy because somebody like that, the brotherhood, he not in the brotherhood no more, you know? Like, there's a couple players that was in the league like that. That's like, they were nice, but they're not accepted in the brotherhood no more. Because, like you said, they're not following the code of what that means. You know what I'm saying?
And you see with Kyrie, like, what's interesting is like the comments coming from a lot of the NBA players. You see the only person who's standing with him is Jay Williams. And Jay Williams wasn't even in the NBA, respectfully. Obviously, he would have been if, you know, the shit didn't happen.
But he only played like a season.
Respectfully. Yeah. So
Jaylen Brown did say something, though.
Jalen Rose, right?
No, Jaylen Brown. Rose got on him.
What'd he say, though?
He just said that he was uncomfortable with the demands and he, you know, stood with Kyrie. It was bullshit, though, to me, because he left Ye, Donda stuff. But I'm like, not saying Kyrie was necessarily speaking on that realm, but I'm just saying how they're getting on him. I'm like, how can you stand with somebody like Kyrie, but then say, oh, I got to get away from Ye? That's just interesting to me.
Because that comes down, you know, it's interesting. It's very interesting because you have this, in my personal opinion, this like embattlement where it's like, all right, I'm an NBA player. I see what they're doing to Kyrie. That's wrong. But at the same time, I also understand the people who's, you know what I'm saying, above me. So it's like you're walking this interesting path where it's like, I do want to stand with my brother, but I can't do it to the point where now I'm jeopardizing myself. Yeah. Like you saw that with LeBron. LeBron, he criticized Kyrie, and then now all of a sudden he's talking about he feels like the punishment is too much.
Did you see that? I was like, wait a minute, Bron, hold on. That's what I was talking about earlier. I'm like, but it's not just Bron. There's a couple athletes that kind of like then backtrack some of the stuff they didn't say. So I'm just like, even Adam Silver, he now all of a sudden he's saying, I don't think Kyrie's anti-Semitic. So I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. It's like 1 minute it's, oh, I don't condone this, like everything's fine. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, I meant to add, you know, I don't think that he's anti-Semitic, and I think that he should be able to play basketball. I think this is too severe. I'm just like,
You
why
got
not
so
say that from the beginning?
think about you being a kid. Think about, you know, we're kids and we have parents, right? And we're punished, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's say my parents left me with a babysitter. I destroy the house, slap up the babysitter, this asshole, right? Parents come home, babysitter's like, your kid is bad, terrible person. You need to do something about it. Parents can be like, he's not a bad kid. You know, he's just hyper. Maybe we gave him too much candy. Sorry about that. I'll punish him as done. Like, that's what they're going to say to the babysitter, right? Once the babysitter leaves, me, an adult, I'm getting my ass whooped, getting called all types of different things. You ain't da 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 da. But that's not what we're gonna present to the babysitter. So it's like I see it the same type of way. Like Adam Silver, all these figureheads for the NBA. Now that they've put Kyrie through the ringer, now that you have somewhat of a lot of people speaking out and saying, "Oh, this isn't right," etc., we can now save face and say, "Well, look, well, hold on. We're not saying he's anti-Semitic. He just needs to he needs to apologize for his actions. He needs to be much more aware of what he's done and the repercussions that can come from it. That's all we're saying, right? But in behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure they're saying, Kyrie, hey, brother, this doesn't need to happen again, because if it does happen again, you're losing your job. And I'm pretty sure Kyrie's like, hey, look, I said sorry. I donated $500K. What do you want? Because Kyrie doesn't strike me as the type of brother to be like, I don't think Kyrie cares if he plays another game of basketball. I really don't think he cares.
He donated that money and they gave it back to him.
So that's by the way, too, who knows if he donated the money? It could have easily been, you know, someone part of his team for a good look. You know what I'm saying? He probably was like, I don't want to donate the money. And then his team was like, we're doing it anyways. You're not going to fuck us.
Yeah, yeah.
So it probably wasn't even his money.
Yeah,
and they probably knew that, too, which is why they gave it back.
Possibly, yeah. But
they have
to
publicists
me,
and stuff. He probably didn't. The issued apology probably wasn't even written by him. Like, it's his team saving face.
But I'm gonna say this, right? Kyrie felt like what he said didn't necessarily warrant an apology because he didn't do nothing, right? It's kind of like when you with a chick, right? And she gets offended by something you did, which like, I didn't do nothing. Like, all I did was I was doing me, right? And so only thing for you as a man to be like, all right, she tripping, fine. I'm sorry, right? And then she wants to make it seem like that's not good enough. Like there was The Secret Life of Bees, right? It was a scene with Jennifer Hudson. And so she did something. She was walking with this white girl that she nannies. And she did something. And so the Caucasian man, he said, I want you to apologize, right? And so she didn't want to do it at first. But then she was sitting there, and then the girl was like, like, come on, like, don't, So she was like, I'm sorry. He was like, what was that? I can't hear you. And then so she said it again, right? He was like, nah, I don't accept that. How about you get on your knees and say it with more pride? And so she had this like dip cut. So she looked like she was about to get on her knees and do it. And then she started, but it was like something like they were like making fun of her, like she was stupid, like she didn't understand nothing, like, and then she started writing something like with her her dip spit. You know how people dip? She started like saying F-U-C-K or something like that, and then like called him a bitch or something like that, and then he ended up like slapping her and all types of shit. And like she had to get out of town, and they had to hide her and all it. But more of the story was like her apology is like they was trying to humiliate her, like get on your knees and really mean it. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what I feel like with this Kyrie, like, oh, we didn't like how you apologized, so we want you to do a better apology. And on top of that, we want you to go to this training. We want you to go to this. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's crazy because, go ahead. I know you got something to say.
No. I wanted to actually add on to that and say some people, what I've seen a lot when it comes to the pushback of Kyrie too. And by the way, to the people, anybody who's hopping up here, like, man, we wanted to hear y'all talk about UFC 281, Earl Spencer drunk, Floyd Mayweather, Deiji, da. Y'all probably ain't saying that, but it's all in my head. At some point, we'll get to some of those, as long as we can have Zen in here to talk about. But what I have seen in reference to the Kyrie thing, and some people, what some people are pushing back against Kyrie about the whole entire situation is, okay, What about Myers Leonard? Y'all remember what happened to Myers Leonard?
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
probably don't remember. In the bubble, playing Twitch, said an anti-Semitic slur. He hasn't been back in the league since, guys. A lot of people don't talk about that. So I see a lot of people saying
Talking about the
basically,
big dude, right?
yeah, he was on Miami Heat. He said the anti-Semitic slur on his Twitch. He hasn't been back in the league since. It's been what, 4 years now, 3 years. So might have been 2, yeah, 2 or 3. But so I've seen a lot of pushback where a lot of people saying, well, where was everybody up in arms? So a lot of people are saying, is this really something where we're defending someone, or is this another color thing, right? And I can understand that argument. But at the same time, that argument is invalid because you can't say, is this another color thing for blacks defending another black person, because this is a color thing, because the link that he tweeted had to do everything with our people. So this isn't something where it's directed and specifically talked about as if I'm playing a Twitch and then I say, oh, a slur. Like, no, the link that he tweeted, the documentary, is supposed to be educational in his eyes to his fellow people. This is information you need to know in order you can understand your roots and your ancestry. So I understand the argument of where was all the, black people trying to stick up for Myers Leonard when he got kicked out. I understand it. It's valid. But in this particular reference, it doesn't work because this is a racially, I don't want to say motivated, but it is a racially subjected argument or conversation we're having, because the link he tweeted was based off of my people. This is what you need to know. So with that being the case, now he's being attacked. You can't be surprised that his people are backing him for it, because there can be a lot of people that believe in that link and a lot of things being said, other than, the particular part where people are saying it's anti-Semitic, even though if you actually watch it, it's not anti-Semitic. But that's besides the point. So it's I feel like it's a weird time period, man. Like, we're in a time right now where sports, and I saw this shift slowly as I got older, where sports became less talk about sports and more talk about politics. Now we're integrating politics with sports. All of a sudden, our sports leaders are supposed to be our intellectual leaders. It's a weird time.
But it's crazy. If you go on Sports Center, bro, they barely cover sports these days, bro.
And it's just a whole bunch of women. Just no disrespect. I love women. I do, but I don't want to hear them talking about sports. Was that a misogynistic?
Shit, I just feel like women can sometimes be too emotional, bro. And then they're like, and they don't do a whole lot of research sometimes. Like, if Candace Parker's maybe saying something about some hoops, I'll listen to Candace Parker. I'm like, shit, girl, you done it. You're MVP champion, you're Olympian, you done did everything possible. Basketball, you know what I'm saying? You won championships overseas. So it's like, I know if you're speaking on something, you've probably done some type of research or know exactly kind of what you're talking about. But like, when I know it's a chick that ain't never picked up no ball, but she's kind of just been around the game, like, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, ain't nobody trying to hear all that.
And I'm going to be completely 100%. Yeah, Flu, how are you going to say you don't like women talking about sports? That's a terrible thing to say. Let me actually be a lot more specific. I don't watch none of that media shit. The only motherfuckers I watch is Shannon and Skip. And after Shannon and Skip's take on the Kyrie situation, I have a lot of trouble watching them now. So it's like, let me just be 100. ESPN period is trash. Richard Jefferson is trash. Kendrick Perkins is trash. All them dudes on there is trash, man. From the women that's on there speaking to the ex-NBA players on there speaking. Stephen A. Smith, I can't stand you anymore, brother.
Hey,
all that stuff is
absolutely. You heard what Shannon said, though? I was going to ask you about that. I'm like, did you hear it? Uncle Shay Shay, man.
Uncle Shay Shay is Uncle Coon Coon. It's okay. I still love him. You got to protect the suits. You got to protect the money. You got to protect the back. I'll watch a YouTuber. I'll watch a fat YouTuber I know never played basketball in their life. I'll watch them break down what's going on in the NBA before I watch ESPN and Fox Sports. Because I know they're coming off from it's biased to an extent, but also it's like it's just biased based off of how they watch the game.
Yeah.
But it's not biased based off of this is how I need to speak, and I'm trying to manipulate my audience into believing what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? So it's like media period is just such a weird time right now. And I just think what's going on with Kyrie, it just kind of just all falls into that. And I think he's going to be back. I think he'll be a Brooklyn Net again. But I do think Kyrie's career will never be the same after this.
I agree.
Never will be the same. Now, my last question before we get into fighting, I just want to have this last question because I haven't talked to you in a minute. And finally, hopefully I don't jinx it. My Wi-Fi is working now, so God save the queen. How do you feel about your Lakers? How do you feel about LeBron? Are we finally seeing the end of LeBron? That's my last question for NBA, and we're gonna go into the fights for the people. So go ahead, Zen. I want to hear your takes. That's your team.
My Lakers are trash because of LeBron. And that's sad to say because I was just saying how he was top 3 in the league, but it was crazy. Remember we was talking, you was like, "Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all look better without Bron on the court." And I agreed with
y'all
you.
hit that third quarter though. Y'all looked exactly the same.
But even with Bron, when we hit that third quarter, it's just like something with this. To me, I think it's because AD get them old bones all cold during that halftime, and so by the time that third quarter come, he is not. You feel me? It take him too long to get back into it, and then by the time he starts feeling good again, we down 15 now. So it's like you getting going now. It don't make because it's not like when he get going, he going off for 10, 12 in a row. You know what I'm saying? He's not just putting his stamp on the game. You know, like Kobe had a slow third quarter. We know in that fourth quarter, he going to go bananas. You know what I'm saying? Prime Bron, prime D-Wade, prime T-Mac, we can go on and on. It's just with AD, he just doesn't have a quarter where it's like, yo, he dominates.
Was Paul Gasol top 75?
No.
Is Paul Gasol better than AD?
Yes.
Okay.
Is Dwight Howard better than AD?
Yes. So
Rasheed Wallace is better than AD.
Jermaine O'Neal is better than AD.
Come on, man. We can go on for days who's better than AD. Elton Brand is better than AD.
Correct. So I just
No,
yes, no. I said correct. Yeah, I agree with you.
Debo's better than AD.
I agree. What I do want to say when it comes to this and putting the blame on LeBron, I see it. I see the jersey. I'm gonna be 100%. We're seeing the decline of LeBron. This first time I'm like, damn man, I'm getting old because LeBron finna be, he's not that guy no more. But I can't put all of the blame on Bron because your Lakers, you guys were the one, including LeBron, that said this franchise is AD's franchise. We go as far as AD go. So as much as I give about 40% of the blame to LeBron, I give 60% to AD. Because at the end of the day,
trying to put the whole blame on LeBron. You already know I already gave AD that credit. You can't even blame Russ no more because Russ been balling, boy. Russ been tripping off that bench.
Russ, I think it's funny too. Like this is my conspiracy theory.
I think he was trolling the whole time. To be real with you, bro, there's no way.
I don't even think it's that. Oh, we move Russ to the bench, and now all of a sudden he's hooping, and all of a sudden he has trade value again, and like you know what I'm saying? Like okay. That's convenient. Now all of a sudden, like he's looking, but I'm like when it comes to the Lakers, I'm gonna keep this short, sweet, and simple. Y'all chose the wrong man to put your franchise on.
You know, we got rid of BI, and you see what he doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm like y'all could have did anybody but AD. But remember, I told you that. I said I'm like you're gonna find out AD's a fraud. Y'all gonna regret that trade. And here we are, about 5 years later. His prime, he was done at 26. That was his prime. That was the last good years. So at 28 years old, he's just the body is just not keeping up. His body's done. You can see it, bro. You can see it, man.
Yeah, he bro. I'm telling you, I see Joker and B, Giannis, Pop Siakam, Karl Towns. I'm like, all these dudes on a pick and roll, how they move. Like, I'm not saying AD's not making good defensive plays, but it's like just their movements. Like, it's way more agile. They moving way more with fluidity. Like. AD literally like he be going up like bro, he be running like Davion, bro. Like he be up there grabbing his back and shit. I be like, what's up with this nigga? Then he'll get the ball in the post, and then he'll go and and then he'll miss it. Then he'll do like a little hop to kind of get back on D, and then he'll start like low key move like Dominique right now, man. He out there like
Remember who we also always used to call Dominique?
I know Anthony.
Ain't that a full fucking swing circle? Cause that
Bro,
nigga's playing literally just like him.
Dominique, bro, I'm telling you, like, no motor. He need Danley out there, man. Danley get that nigga AD hard, boy. He gonna be going.
I remember we all just stopped and we was watching. We was like,
I ain't never seen Dominique bring the ball up like that, boy.
and the nigga just got
hard.
ripped.
I ain't never seen that, bro. Then he got ripped. I was like,
that was the best part when he was going hard. He was like, and he just got ripped, and the nigga went for a layup. We were like,
what the hell? Then he got the ball again. Then he came down and shot a three. I was like, he was
like,
going
we
hard
still
right
trying
now.
to win, nigga. Like, I get you trying to prove your point, but nigga, we need a dub, bro. Like, you just did a turnover and an unnecessary three, bro. That's
Bro,
two
that
turnovers, basically.
crazy. I've never seen that from him in my life. But I'm telling you, that's what AD needs. Pat Bev claimed he was gonna be that beacon. I'm gonna get all these man.
No one respects Pat Bev. You can't average 1 point per game and think you're gonna demand respect, nigga.
Facts, though.
It's not gonna happen. Not with the Lakers. You can go to Minnesota and you can do that.
I mean,
you can go to the Lakers and do that.
Like, you're talking to champions in here, nigga.
Fuck out of here, man. But all right, that's last little bit. I want to hit you with the basketball questions. We're gonna roll into the fighting side of the game. However long you can stay up on here, man, I appreciate it. But hopefully I can get you your opinion. I do want to ask you this. If I have time, I want to show you the Earl Spence video. I'm a little scared to do that though, just because my internet was acting up. Might be good. But the biggest thing I just do want to ask you tomorrow, UFC 281 is happening. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not saying it's the biggest UFC card of this year because it definitely isn't. There's a lot of holes left to be desired on that bad boy. But before we get into the main event, I don't know if you knew about it, but hometown hero, our guy, he's finally back. It's been a very long time since his last loss. You know what I'm saying? Hesperia's own High Desert's own Dominic Reyes is returning to the octagon tomorrow. He is in the preliminaries. He's the co-main event of the prelims. He is fighting Ryan Spann, who is a fucking dog.
He's fighting Ryan Spann.
He's fighting Ryan Spann.
Why they give him, bro? I swear, I give him that. He ain't taking no light fights, nigga. All his shits is all fucking heat, nigga. Like, damn, nigga, this is a turn-up fight.
I'm like, why Ryan Spann? I'm not saying you can't beat him, Reyes, but I'm like, you just came off of fighting some of the hardest hitters, 2 brutal knockouts. Let's fight a wrestler.
On me, you want to go with a nigga that got hands, nigga.
All he does, his whole entire game plan is behind the right hand. And Reyes, you're telling me you're going to all of a sudden mix in wrestling? No, you're a striker. So you're going to have to avoid that right hand for 3 rounds. By the way, Ryan Spann missed weight by 0.5 pounds. So he didn't really miss weight, but he looked when he went to the weigh-ins, basically he looked great. So I'm happy he's back. I can't wait for him to be rooting for him. Usually I don't go that early into prelims, but I'm going to try and make it a priority tomorrow where I'll be live by then. But your thoughts on that, Zen, with our guy, Dominic Reyes being back and fighting a fucking monster, Ryan Spann. How do you feel about that? You confident? Is that something you think it's a good matchup for him? You shake your head.
It's not. I didn't know he was fighting Spann, nigga. That's crazy.
You give him an edge. How you feel? You don't think he has a chance?
It just all depends, bro. Like when you get knocked out the way he's been getting knocked out, bro. Like you seen like Cody, his downfall after he's, we can go to boxing. Certain dudes that gotten hit, they just never been the same. It's just like when you get hit in a certain degree, you just change up who you are. There's only been a few niggas in the history of fighting that's gotten brutally knocked out and then came back a savage.
And I love that point you made because, like, I could easily say, being a Reyes fanboy, we're both big fans of Reyes, is, well, he's only lost to future champions or current champions, and that's fair to say, which shows his level. Yes, the problem with that is he didn't just lose; he got brutally KO'd 2 times. So it's different when you get brutally KO'd to just maybe a TKO or a decision loss or something like that. Like when your last 2 losses are brutal finishes, knockouts, the thing in your like the last thing in your mind is, well, I lost to the future champ. No, it's like, damn, I don't want to get hit like that or knocked out like that again, which changes your mentality. So it's like obviously I can't put myself in his shoes, but I would think in my head I wouldn't be going into the Ryan Spann fight saying, well, I've beat guys better than you and I've lost to guys better than you. I would go in thinking I'm not trying to get brutally KO'd like I did before. I need to win this fight. So it's like the mindset, rather than knowing and understanding he's way million times better. Because Ray is, let's get it straight, he's a million times better than Ryan Spann. Like, his skill level was far superior. But the fact that Ryan Spann has that right hand, he's a dog. Like, Ryan Spann to me he's similar to Jamel Hill, even though I think Jamel Hill is better. Both of those guys, big boys, right hand technically will be the left hand for Jamel Hill since he's southpaw, but they both have straight right or straight lefts coming down from hell, right? I think Jamel Hill is a lot more athletic. I think he can move around a lot better, find his spots better. But Ryan Spann, man, he's a beast. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think the biggest problem here, in my personal opinion, for Reyes is probably going to be like, okay, well, is he going to shy away from certain opportunities with Ryan Spann because he doesn't want to get knocked out again? Or will he be a little bit too aggressive because maybe he's trying to prove something because of those last knockouts, which either one, I'm not sure if either one is a path to victory for him, but I'm going to still rock with my guy, man. I can't go against him. I'm still
done, man. It's all about his motor, dog. If his motor's not there, if it wasn't like how it used to be, he ain't going to win.
I think it's going to be there. I do think it will be there. And that's a good point, too, because Reyes' motor is levels above Ryan Spann. So he can definitely outwork Spann, and he can put the pressure on him, keep him on his back foot. But I'm just like, man, at some point, I know he's going to get caught.
Because you got to remember, the first 10 fights in the UFC, he was knocking niggas out like fast. Or if he did knock them out, he was just overwhelming them. It's like, and then he fought John Jones and he lost. And then he fought
a very close loss. And a lot of people thought maybe he won. To this day, they still argue maybe Reyes beat him.
Possibly. But, not clear enough to just take John's belt. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And then, he fought Jan next, right? Or was it Jan after?
No, it was Jan next.
Yeah, Jan, you see what Jan did, that boy to bed, and then
it was Yuri.
Yuri, yeah. So it's like he fought two dudes, and Yuri ended up beating Jan, right?
Yeah, but and then like I said, you can argue Jan ended up getting the belt. John Jones, obviously the GOAT, and then Yuri, he has the belt now. So,
but I'm just saying, like, he fought three dudes. He fought the greatest of all time. He fought a fucking is he Russian?
Polish.
Poland. He fought a Polish. Like, Jan got a chin.
Dog,
yeah. And then, because you see he beat Izzy, so it's like, it's not like Jan was trash or nothing. And then
knocked out. Who did he knock out to win the belt, Jan?
Huh?
Who did Jan knock out to win the belt?
I
forgot. Sheesh. Go ahead, though. My bad. I forgot.
I don't know. I forgot, too. It was somebody. I just remember when Texas Oliveira beat that nigga. I was like, damn. I should put money.
Nigga said Texas Oliveira. That's hilarious. Glover Teixeira, nigga.
There you go. Glover Teixeira.
Combine Charles Oliveira and Glover Teixeira into one, nigga. That would be a beast of a fighter. That's funny. But like, I don't remember who Jan beat to get that tour.
I'll tell you right now. Damn, that nigga 39. Time move.
Who Jan?
Beat Dominic Reyes.
That's right. It was for the vacant. Because John Jones. That's right. Jesus, that was wild time.
He didn't have the belt that long, bro, because he fought Izzy next and then he lost that shit.
No, Jan beat Izzy. He lost it to.
He beat Izzy, then he lost
the Glover.
So he didn't have it that long, and then Glover lost to Yuri, right?
To Yuri, but Glover was winning the whole fight. And Yuri, right? Which by the way, Glover versus Yuri 2, I think that's early next year, January, something like that, January, February. So that's happening. But but like you're saying, I'm like, with that being the case, and he's taken, Reyes has taken some time off, which is good since those two losses. I have faith in Reyes, man. I think as much as I think Ryan Spann is a beast and he has power, I have enough faith in Reyes to think he's a better martial artist. I think he's a better athlete. I think he's more skilled. I think he'll be able to avoid the right hand because that's the only thing he's going to have to avoid. Like Jan, he just doesn't have the right hand. You know, he's a great wrestler, has a great left hook. Yuri, obviously, Yuri is a fucking striking assassin. Ryan, on the other hand, like if you can avoid that right hand, make him uncomfortable on the feet, push him back, maybe utilize your wrestling, push him against the cage, I think he can win that fight. He just can't get too confident. I think that would be the problem. I think if he comes in a little bit too confident, a little too overzealous, that's when he can get caught. You know, so I got Reyes winning. I think he'll win a 3-round decision, 3-round unanimous decision. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think it's gonna go to no decision. It's either he gonna be disciplined, because I'm like, we haven't seen him go 3 rounds ever. He's either got knocked out or knocked somebody out. Well, I guess he went with John Jones, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'll tell you this, man.
Fair point, though.
John Jones hasn't looked like John Jones since DC. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a fair point within itself.
Okay. I'm like, after DC, bro, all those fights he's had after DC were very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. He almost lost. Who did the dude he almost lost to, and he tore his meniscus and his ACL during the fight?
Oh, Thiago.
Bro, that man almost beat that man. And if he didn't tear his ACL and meniscus, bro, not granted, John Jones did beat up them legs, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like John Jones was out there just looking stellar. You know what I'm saying?
Thiago's out, like, and Thiago's out of the UFC right now too. He's with PFL now. Got stopped, knocked out. One of the best fights I've seen in a long time against Jamel Hill in his last fight in the UFC.
Me and you called it though. John Jones was not fighting in 2022. We called that shit, man.
Supposedly he was trying to make it happen, but a lot of people are trying to say it was Stipe's side that's making it difficult, or possibly Stipe might not even be returning to the UFC or returning to fighting, period. But I don't, you know, that's all that speculation.
I believe it, bro. After you get knocked out by a guy like Francis, bro, and you've already the greatest heavyweight of all time, you gotta look at your health. Like, I'm not gonna stab pat a nigga like John Jones's record. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give him an extra body on there and my greatness so he could be like, look, I just beat the greatest heavyweight of all. You get what I'm saying? It's like that nigga Stipe 40, bro. John's what, 33, 34? So it's
I think Stipe is like 39, isn't he? 38?
40, bro. I think he turned 40 this year, bro.
Really?
Because remember, DC was like 2 years older than him, and DC like 42.
Okay. I thought he wasn't 40 yet, but I know he's close. But yeah, you're probably right.
He's 40, okay. Bro. Like, yeah, I told you he turned 40.
Wow, Stipe is 40 years old. Yeah, I want to see any reason why Stipe would come back.
I remember Daniel DC was older than him. Yeah, he's 43.
Time flies. I was still thinking he's 37, but yeah, you're right. That's 3 years ago. Sheesh.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And so it's like, if I'm Stipe, I'm a firefighter already. I'm already doing good for the community. I got my money from the UFC. I'm very well off. I got
no respect. Yeah.
My life, and I live in a city that doesn't even cost a lot. He's in Ohio. Depending on where he's at in Ohio, bro, he's probably got a big ass house for like $200K.
What else does he have left, though? Yeah, you're right to prove him. Like, at 40 years old, you're not going to come back. You're not going to go for another title run.
Knocked out DC twice, bro. There's nothing else that man need to do, bro.
He's considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
He is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Ain't no if. He is. He has the longest title reign in UFC history.
Yeah, UFC-wise, yes. Yeah.
For the heavyweights.
I agree. All right, let me
beat DC, bro. And only person to ever beat DC is who?
Johnny.
That's all you got to know.
John Bon Jones. No, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. By the way, y'all, if y'all ain't seen my shit chopping up, so again, like, we're gonna keep moving. Go ahead.
So, like, to me, I don't think it's smart. You know, I could be wrong. People can be like, Chan, you don't know. Oh, this man gonna leave. As soon as I get to talking. Well, while he gone, I'm gonna promote my mixtape again. It's dropping next Sunday, y'all. Y'all stay tuned. We are 9 days away. You know what I'm saying? I put some time into it. You know what I'm saying? Some of these joints are kind of a little older. I've already kind of had them, but like, you know, majority of the joints are kind of newer. You know what I'm saying? It's the flow, the bop, the beat selection. It's all there. You know what I'm saying? So, like I was saying, man, it's gonna be at the SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to make. Oh, you're a rapper? No, I'm not a rapper. I'm an artist. I'm a person that can make good music. I can write for any genre that you need me to write for. You get what I'm saying? I'm multi-versatile, and I just, I grew up on hip hop, right? So like me and Flu, we've been doing music since I was 16. He's probably 17, 18. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing it way before that. But I'm talking about for me is actually like making a good song. You get what I'm saying? Writing some good shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like doing it for over a decade now. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved music. I've always wanted to make music, and I feel like this is the first project I've completed that actually sounds good. That actually, I got to put all my creativity into it. So, I'm excited for it. I hope, y'all can enjoy it. And yeah, it's okay. Flu's back, so we can get to it.
All right.
But I was
so
saying,
now we got through. Go ahead.
For John, and like I said, people come, oh, you smoking, John Jones this, John Jones that. You see how big John Jones is. All I'm saying is John Jones is not going to have to come back and fight a nigga like Francis Ngannou. That's all I have to say. Because I'm like, Ciryl Gane is probably the most swiftest heavyweight I've ever seen in UFC. As far as his movement, his stance. Like, I'm not going to lie, Flu, he looked like you when he fighting there. Of course, it's a little different, but just how he's always on his toes, and he's just always he's so graceful, but he has that power with it too. Like, he's clearly a bigger guy than you, but I'm just talking about his movements. And the fact he can move all that weight that good. I've never seen something like that. Have you? I mean, if you have, I'll love to see that fighter. I'll Google him.
No, I agree. I agree with you 100% when it comes to what John has to come back to. At the same time, I just don't underestimate him like that severely, just because John is still technically, especially when it comes to heavyweights, he's still young. So it's like, as much as we can say, this is how he looked, in the latter years or whatever the case may be in light heavyweight, we don't know what he's going to bring in heavyweight. I'm like, we would know if he was like DC years old when he came over to heavyweight. Like, we know what DC's going to bring. We don't really know what John's going to bring. Like we said, he's 33 years old. Next year, he'll probably fight at 34. Like, he's literally technically in the prime of heavyweight. So it's like he can easily add more to his game, adjust his game, switch his game up. Where will it be good enough to beat a guy like Ngannou? I don't know. Will it be good enough to beat a guy like Gane? I don't know. Will it be good enough to beat anybody else in the heavyweight division? Yes. So that's the thing.
Yes.
Where it's like we're talking about two people he can possibly lose to, and everyone else we're like, well, of course John's going to beat him. So it's like so for me, it's like you got to kind of keep things in perspective. Where it's like, yeah, against the top.
I wasn't trying to downplay John. I'm talking about since DC, that's been the last fight he's actually really been in super jeopardy, like, or he's had a chance to really just lose, in my opinion. Like I feel like other fights.
Gustafsson, which was a long time ago, but some would say, but some would say Reyes. Some would say he lost to Reyes. Some would say he lost to Santos.
But I'm talking about as far as Gustafsson but he stopped Gustafsson though, didn't he?
Let me ask you this then. Since you have this interesting, and I know you're a big fan of Izzy, and obviously we're talking about UFC 281 here, how we got here. If John Jones and Izzy ever fought, who would win? Who do you think is better?
John Jones.
You didn't say that confidently.
Nah, like it'd be John. Just because John's stronger. John's the only nigga that ever put DC on the ground.
So you don't think he's more skilled than Izzy?
I just think that John's motor is better. Like Izzy's so relaxed and he's so like, you know what I'm saying? He's just like technician. Whereas John, he a technician, but like he could get in there and just get, you feel me, just get physical and get to slamming niggas.
This is my one criticism of John Jones. And I didn't have this criticism of John Jones 6 years ago. But this also shows how MMA, particularly the UFC, but it's not just the UFC, Bellator, PFL, all across the board, one championship, skill level has improved when it comes to mixed martial arts because it's such a young sport. So it's only going to get better. So we're only going to see a lot more flow when it comes to putting everything into one. Anderson Silva was one of the first guys where we were like, damn, right? Now we fast forward, then we saw John Jones. It's like, damn, he can wrestle. Look at I've never seen this. Fast forward again. And I think Izzy is now in that spot where we're seeing how great an elite level kickboxer is placed in MMA. So now we're at a point now we can see elite level other combat sports in the sense of elite level boxer, elite level kickboxer, elite level Muay Thai guy. They can go into MMA now because MMA is so world renowned. You know, if there's a Muay Thai gym, if there's a kickboxing gym, there's probably a jiu-jitsu gym. There's probably a wrestling gym. It's probably all in one. So basically what I'm saying is my one criticism of Jon Jones now that I didn't have 5-6 years ago, I do think his striking is outdated. What do I mean by that? How is his striking outdated? That doesn't make any sense. What I mean by this is what I saw against Reyes, what I saw against Thiago Santos is that his footwork when it comes to striking is limited. And I talked about this, I think, because I feel like I'm repeating myself when it was either Fluence Lounge or I was watching it. Jon Jones has learned to be horizontal and vertical when it comes to his striking, which is a very rudimentary and very fundamental basic of combat sports, boxing, Muay Thai, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Back when, maybe particularly in his gym, because obviously there were certain gyms that will but you know what I'm saying? When you go to certain gyms, this is how it's done. This is how you have to do it. You don't change it. This is always what it's going to be. You can't get out of it. If you start doing your own thing, if you start moving your own way, if you start being unorthodox, it's seen as wrong. Fast forward to now, it's a free-flowing art. Now you can be in the boxing gym. They say don't be square. You see a lot of guys be square. It's like a lot of times it's what's comfortable with you because at the end of the day, it is an athletic sport, and that's what I've seen the advancement and go past Jon Jones. I know I kind of made that long with it, my bad, y'all. But Jon Jones, in my particular opinion, is his striking has fallen behind the spectrum or the metric when it comes to MMA. But that's also why I think it's a good idea for him to move up because the heavyweight division, you know what I'm saying? We got Spams come up here. Salute to them, though. I'm like, because the heavyweight division, their striking is always going to be behind. It's always going to be slower because it's bigger guys, less athletic guys. Where in comparison to light heavyweight division, a guy like Dominic Reyes looks like he's having success because all he simply is doing is what? Moving clockwise, right? And what does that do to somebody who is a horizontal and vertical fighter? Makes it a lot harder for them to be able to get off the offense. And, Thiago Santos, throwing a lot of kicks, a lot of feints. Makes it very hard for the horizontal vertical fighter. That's why I think Adesanya would have a lot of success against Jon Jones because I think he's a much better striker because he's not so rudimentary in his fundamentals. But Jon Jones still wins, though. But, yeah, anyways. I don't know if I know that was long-winded, but that would be my only criticism right now, where if Jon Jones were to stay at light heavyweight, he would struggle with some of these guys coming up in light heavyweight because their striking is a beautiful art. But Jon Jones will have success in the heavyweight division because, other than Cyril Gane, everyone's pretty basic. Taito Ivasa has good hands, but obviously he's undersized. But other than that, Francis Ngannou obviously has some good hands, but they're not great. He just, he has power. So he has an opportunity against a lot of these guys because he's still going to be levels above them in the striking the capabilities other than Gane. He'll have a lot of trouble against Gane on the feet. I don't know if you agree with any of that, Zen. Brought too long with it. Oh, he had to get up out of here. I don't know what happened. Oh, he must have froze. That must have what happened. Because I'm like, the whole time I was talking, I was like, he didn't nod his head once. He didn't agree twice. I'm like, damn, he wasn't showing no love to what your bro was saying. But that's my personal opinion with that. Okay, so that's what me and Zen was talking about. I'm going to go ahead and get into it, though. Let's talk about UFC 281 just a little bit. I did talk about earlier Dominic Reyes returning to the octagon. He's going to be fighting Ryan Spann. Actually, let me see. Hopefully, we got him back in the game. Let's see what's going on with him. What's happening?
Yeah,
Is he back?
Yeah, I guess my internet cut out or something. I don't know what happened.
I feel like I was spitting facts, and then I was just looking at your screen. I was like, man, he didn't nod or shake his head to nothing, man. I'm like, this must be weak. And I was like, oh, he must have froze.
Yeah,
You ended up going out. Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah, I heard everything you were saying. You were just saying how he's. All I wanted to combat what you were saying is like, John still has a great ground game. Izzy hasn't shown to have one. So I'm like, that's the only reason I give. Because even if Izzy is piecing him up that first round, John has always been great at adjustment. So he'll just go right to the ground and see what Jan did.
Okay, so that's where you froze. I did say I still think Jon Jones wins. I'm just saying I think Izzy will
Yeah, if they're gonna just stay
he'll
on
make
their
John
feet,
look bad on the feet.
Easy will win just because he's too swift and John's not gonna be able to know how to cut him off. So his best bet would be wrestling.
And I will say this: it's not like, and I'll say this: it would be a relatively boring fight in the beginning because he's not going to hurt John. Like, if you can't hurt you well, if you can't hurt Jan, you can't hurt Brad Tavares, he's not gonna hurt John. So it would be, is he doing what he do? Stick and move style, smile, and do what he do. But eventually, like you said, John would adjust. He would put the pressure on him. I think he would just grab a hold of him and just, if Jan could do it, John would do it a million times. So, since we are talking about Izzy, there is some other fights I do want to talk about on the card because there is some solid ones. Well, let me ask you this: is there any particular fights you're looking forward to on this UFC 281?
I don't even know who's really fighting besides Izzy. To be real, I didn't even know Dominic was fighting.
Yeah, we got the co-main event. I'm not that interested in it. I'm not even trying to be mean. Jean Wei-Ling versus Carlos Esparza. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You're a legend to the sport. My bad. It's one of them days. That's going to be for the title. I think that's probably going to be a relatively boring fight because a lot of people are saying Jean Wei-Ling is going to win. I think Carlos Esparza is going to win. I think she's just going to wrestle her. A lot of people are going to be surprised. It's probably going to be another boring fight. They're going to hate her even more for it, but she's going to get her money. So proud of her for that. So y'all want to take an underdog. If y'all guys looking for a bet to place, put it on Carla. Then before that, we got Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. That's not a bad fight.
Dustin gonna win that.
That's how I feel too. I think Dustin's probably gonna get the W for that one. I think
Michael Chandler's just too old, bro.
Yeah.
Dustin, he just can't beat the niggas that's above him, bro. Sadly.
Well, I just think if they have, if anybody wants to go to the ground with Dustin, Dustin's like, man, why y'all trying to do this, man? I'm just trying to throw hands.
Give up. He once it goes to the ground, bro. He's just like,
I'm done. I'm like, that's what I've known. I was like, yeah, he does
Dustin
lose the.
Poirier is the rumble of his division.
Yeah, perfect. I'm like, if you go into the ground, he's like, man, I'm good. But Michael Chandler used to be, not used to be, but he's known for be known for his wrestling. Obviously, very high level wrestler. He said in the press conference, I'm not gonna be trying to look for the kill this fight. I'm not gonna look to entertain. I'm looking to get a win because I want a championship fight next year. You don't think he looks to try and wrestle Dustin?
I don't think he's gonna be able to though.
Yeah, I think he hasn't done it enough in fights where he can implement it. But it is only a 3-round fight.
I don't think he's gonna be able to do it though. I think Dustin's gonna be able to get up. He's not a tactician, like you feel me? He's not like an Islam or a Charles Oliveira or something like that. Like where it's like once they get you down, you're down.
Yeah, I think Poirier's probably gonna stop him. I see a 2nd-round KO.
Something like that, yeah.
Uppercut. I think Michael Chandler is gonna have some success in the 1st round with some takedowns. He's gonna get a little too overzealous in the 2nd round. Poirier's gonna catch him with an uppercut, rock him, left hook, right hook, left, right hook, have him up against the fence, finish in the Poirier fashion. That's how I feel it's gonna happen. The next couple of fights, I'm not really that interested. Frankie Edgar.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I might not be in there until the Dustin Poirier fight, and then
I won't blame you, bro. I won't blame you, man. I'm like when I think about the card, like Frankie Edgar is his last fight, his retirement fight. Fight before that to open up the card is Dan Hooker versus I can't remember who the brother name is, but I'm gonna be there just for the Dominic Reyes span card, and I'm gonna be there for the rest of the night. So I'll be in there for the long haul, y'all. So Fluence, y'all better show up, man. Show me some love, because to be honest with you, the only fights I'm really looking forward to is Reyes and Izzy. I think Michael Chandler versus Dustin Poirier is gonna be fun, but at the same time, what's the point of the fight? Poirier already lost to Islam. Yeah, Chandler can get a title fight, but we know Chandler doesn't really have a chance against Islam, let's be real.
Islam's not losing anytime soon. He did that to Charles, man. Man, please. Nobody got to stop.
He has he's gonna be reigning there for a while. New could be. But okay, let me ask you this thing. Let's talk about it. Izzy Pineda. How you feel about it? You think we overhyping it? You think there's a possibility it could really be a close fight? You think really Izzy, there's a possibility he can lose? What's
the most pressure in his career? Because Pereira has shown that he'll bring the fight and he's not afraid He has nothing to lose in the regard because I think he knows he can beat everybody in the division. So I think his aggression will be his beneficiary. Where it's like the last couple of fights I've seen with Izzy, he's been on the very, very, very safe side of things. So it's like if that's the way he wants to continue to fight, I think Pereira, he's not going to allow Izzy to have to fight safe. If Izzy fights safe, he'll lose, in my opinion. Izzy's going to have to really show that he is that motherfucker. Like, this is going to be the time to see if Izzy's really that guy, or has he always just been fighting guys that he stylistically is just a mismatch for them, in my opinion.
So what does Izzy have to do then to win? Because from what you're telling me, I'm like, Izzy, there's not too many ways for him to get the W here. Because you're basically telling him to be out of character.
Style, but he has to put the pressure up. He has to put the combos together. He has to be calculated. He has to use Pereira, maybe aggression against him. He can't just be there, kick, move, jab. Like, he can't.
Do you remember the last fight where he wasn't like that? I could tell you. He only had one fight his entire career where he went away from that particular game plan.
Robert Whittaker?
No. Robert Whittaker came to him. And in the second fight, when Robert Whittaker didn't come to him, it was a much boring.
Aggressive?
He had one fight his entire MMA career where he decided to not follow that game plan of stick, jab, move, kick, high kick. You know what I'm saying? Move, rotate the clock. There's only one, but you should know. He's only taken significant damage in one fight.
Jan?
No. Gastelum.
Oh, yeah, Gastelum was giving that man work.
But the reason why, if you watch that fight, Israel made that fight Israel, he could make every fight exciting. He could be the most entertaining fighter. Because if you watch that fight, he came forward on multiple occasions. He was pressing the action multiple times. He wasn't just looking to counterpunch. That's also why Kelvin had a lot of success. Because Kelvin was a much smaller and shorter fighter. You really think Kelvin had any chance? It would look like Jared Cannonier versus Izzy if he would have fought how he fought in every other MMA fight that he had in that particular fight. So he learned from that. He said, I remember after he said, I'm never going to let this happen again, etc. So how does Izzy beat Pereira if you're telling him he has to not do what he's been doing to win? And the one time he didn't, he literally got, you know what I'm saying, torn apart by somebody who currently isn't even in the top 10 ranking in the division.
He's a champion. You got to figure it out. Like Kobe said, hey, you want to be a champion, you got to figure it out.
That's actually a great response. I agree with that. I do. As far as Pereira, seems like you're leaning toward him for the win.
Huh?
I said it seems like you're leaning toward Alex Pereira for the win. Is that what you're saying then? Or do you believe that Izzy's going to figure it out?
I don't want to say that Izzy won't figure it out, but Alex Pereira has shown to have a lot of good fight IQ. It's like Izzy wants to. I remember in a video he knocked somebody out. He like predicted like what he was going to do. But I'm like, just because you can predict it doesn't mean you can stop it, right? If I know that KD's going to do a pump fake, rip through, get to his spot and pull up, just because I know that's where he's going to go doesn't mean I can stop that shit. You get what I'm saying?
That's what makes them great. I'm like, when you know what they're going to do and you can't stop it.
But that's my point with Izzy. So it's like in that video, he wants to kind of try to downplay Alex, like, you know, he's not this and he's not that. But it's just like, at the end of the day, bro, like, you ain't never beat this nigga.
Can I tell you what I personally think Izzy is going to have to be aware of? By the way, I'm going to give my 2 cents too. Also, I'm going to drop it because I watched the weigh-ins. This is the first time ever we saw Izzy weigh in at exactly 185. He usually always comes in a little bit under. Even when he fought Jan and they fought at 205, he came on under. He was the first one to weigh in, which was very impressive, but he was kind of blinking. He was doing like this, twitch, which told me he was a little bit dehydrated. My guess is that he was a lot heavier throughout this camp, which means it was a lot harder weight cut. And the reason why he was heavier, because God damn it, if you saw the face-offs and if you haven't, Zen, I'm not saying to watch and drive, but nigga, Pereira is a legit 6'5", 4'6'5".
No, he's
Looks
tall.
like he walks around at about 240. Izzy's about 6'2", 6'3". Looks like he walks around about 220, 218. So okay, so that was one thing that stood out to me because I was like, okay, well, Izzy came right at weight. Okay, respect, but he always comes under. Now, the one thing that a lot of people probably aren't going to talk about, that I'm going to talk about, and that you cannot do against someone your own size, because it's very easy to get away with certain fundamental defensive flaws against someone who's shorter than you, right? If you watched against Robert Whitaker, Izzy. If you watched against Paulo Costa, Izzy. He has a very signature left hook that can land, or a right hook, depending on if he switches his stance. I'm saying left hook here because the camera this way is a lot easier to be able to tell. What he does is he'll lean back, and then he'll counter with a hook this way. So basically what I said, he'll lean back, then he'll counter with a hook this way. So boom, then the hook comes, right? Or he'll do it this side, lean back, then the hook comes. Why is that dangerous against someone who is the same height as you or just as tall as you? Because when you do this lean back,
counter you.
if I'm here or if I'm here, this isn't boxing. And I'll tell you this right now, Izzy has a bad habit, watch him as well. When he does the lean back, he's here. That's the same lean back he got caught in that second kickboxing fight with Pereira. When someone's the same level as you, you don't have the luxury of leaning back and being out of range. Why? Because we're the same height. We're always going to be in range. Even if I have a 78 reach advantage and you have an 81. This is MMA. This isn't boxing. So the range that we're at is I have to make sure I'm outside of your kicking range or I'm inside of your kicking range. So in an example of Robert Whitaker and Izzy would be inside of Robert Whitaker's kicking range, which means he can lean back out of the way of the hook coming from Robert Whitaker, and he can counter with the hook himself without being caught. Paulo Costa, same thing. He understands that Paulo Costa is not going to be within his kicking range, so he can stand on the outside of his kicking range when he decides to take a step in, take a half off. Paulo Costa doesn't understand. He throws. He thinks he's in range to hit Izzy. Izzy understands, I'm taller, you're shorter. Lean back, hit him upside the head, knocks him down, finishes him. He tried the same thing with Pereira in that second kickboxing fight. Lean back, and he got caught right here. Boom. So that's going to be, in my personal opinion, what I'm going to be looking for. When they get into a firefight, or when Izzy gets into, if he decides to really stand in the middle, he's going to have to avoid that. If I'm Izzy, I'm always circling. I'm always on the outside. But if he stands in the middle of that octagon with him, and he starts to do a firefight, and he doesn't lean back, someone's going to get caught. No, I was long with it. I keep doing that. My bad. But someone's going to get caught. I'm telling you. So I'm like, just look out for that. I don't know who's the favorite for this fight. I think it's Izzy. But if my personal opinion, I'm telling Izzy, kick, jab, stay on the outside. We not get into a firefight with this guy. We don't need to. He's slower than you. He's more methodical than you. His footwork isn't on your level. Work the system that's been working. Don't stray away. We'll be fine.
Well, all right, bro.
We're done.
No, I hear what you're saying. Hey, yo, all y'all about to get to it. Shout out to my boy Flu. I'll be here for the Fluence Lounge. I probably won't be there for when you go live with Floyd. I'll probably be watching the Nets and the Clippers, to be real with you. But
Floyd might be at night, though. I'm not sure about that yet. So it might be the same time as UFC 281. So
can't be if it's in Abu Dhabi. They're like 12 hours ahead.
If they have it on Sunday, sometimes they'll have the fight like Sunday morning, so it happens Saturday night. That's what they did with damn, I forgot. Oh, the Floyd, but that wasn't in Abu Dhabi though. That was in Japan or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Well, I'll be here for Fluence Lounge. Shout out to my guy. I'm glad he's doing better. He's back on his feet.
I know. I almost feel like a regular person tonight. Close. My sinus is fucked up.
He gonna keep giving y'all the good info, man. Y'all stay with him, man. Y'all like and subscribe, man. Y'all just keep showing us love, man. We're gonna keep giving y'all the work. You're
Salute, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, dog.
Be safe, man. All right, my guy's in the building, man. He gave us an hour and 24 minutes. That was more time than I thought, man. I appreciate that. For real. For real, man. But I gave y'all, you know what I'm saying, my breakdown of how I felt was gonna go on with Izzy. You know what I'm saying? What was gonna go on with the man himself, Alex Peretta, how I think y'all gotta be careful. Watch out for the hook coming up over the top. Hopefully I'm getting some love from my internet. I'm gonna pull up. Y'all bear with me, man. I'm gonna upgrade the definition a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was having some internet troubles because they was trying to show me no love. Um, but happy Friday to everybody, man. It's good to be back up in here, man. It's been a minute. This stream definitely wasn't the most perfect. The whole beginning, the whole joint was just chopping in and out. The feedback was going crazy. But nonetheless, man, we here. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy. We got the Fluence Lounge popping off. Fluence Lounge is gonna be a good time. We're gonna do Deiji Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do UFC 281. So it's gonna be a good time. Make sure y'all join us for that. But we ain't done yet tonight, man. Because there was something I wanted to talk about. Or there was something that piqued my interest. And so we're gonna get into that. Let me see if I can pull this up. I want to see if I can find this joint. Because we definitely we got to get into a little bit of boxing talk tonight. This is boxing news, you feel me? Fluenceboxing to the day I die. I'm saying we had a little NBA talk earlier with my guy Zen. Obviously, we got into some things when it came to the Izzy Rich Pedetta card that's coming up tomorrow. I can't wait for that. That's going to be such a good time, man. You already know we're going to go Fluence Lounge for that. Go crazy with it. But I do want to touch on some things on the boxing side of the game because I think it's only right. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that I've been challenged. You know, I've been told I've been wrong about a lot of things. Did y'all know Ricky Hatton is fighting again? Anyways. But it comes down to my guy Earl Spence, man. And I think this needs to be discussed. All right, here it goes. I found it. Okay. So what I'm about to do right now, we about to change this thing up. It's funny. Who am I to call someone a drunk? What influence, man? Better than this. Y'all bear with me. I'm getting everything set up for the people. So we can bring in some new folks so everything is right. Hopefully everyone's Friday. I'm like, look, man, I ain't been live in I don't know how long. So it's like, it only makes sense coming back, having the problems in the beginning, but still having a great discussion with Zen. And just to keep it rocking, man. I ain't gonna slow it down, ain't no way. I just want to make sure I got everything set up right. That's a crazy image. I ain't no way I'm gonna do that. Trying to get a new thumbnail for the people real quick since we're gonna be moving on to boxing. The fuck that noise, man? All right, here we go. I like this right here. Try bringing the boxing people, baby. Maybe get some debating up in here, man. I know on the MMA side of the game, man. Y'all be quiet. Y'all don't want to be hopping into the chat. I'm gonna be dropping a link soon too. I'm like, it's already, it's 12 at where I'm at. Whoa. But I'm about to drop the link in a minute to see if anybody want to hop up in here. Talk about what we talk about. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button too if y'all ain't subscribed. Make sure y'all like the video. You feel me? Man, you back. I already blocked you. How you block someone one time and then they come back the second time? That's crazy. Excuse me, y'all. Told you I'm sick, man. Oh, I should probably put a question mark on that because that's kind of disrespectful to Earl. Oh, well, it's not letting me. Okay. All right, we good to go. I just got to block this user, man. Stop hopping. I said, not y'all hop in my chat. What? That's crazy. They wasn't even letting me block. I had to put the user in a timeout. It's crazy. All right. Anyways, all right. So let's go, man. We've been talking, basketball earlier. We've been talking, I'm saying, MMA, Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. You know what I'm saying? Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. All that good stuff, man. Ryan Spann versus Dominic Reyes. But it's time to get into boxing. All right. We don't need to wait any longer. And there's some things that we need to discuss. And when I talk about getting to boxing too, I'm not specifically just talking about Deiji versus Floyd Mayweather tomorrow, because I'm probably not even going to be talking about that, to be honest with you. I want to speak on the recent news that's going on in the Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford space. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that there's necessarily been any new news as far as the progress of the fight being made. And, I always say that I hate being one of those guys that's kind of beating something over the head. That's not the type of, person I want to be. But, I haven't been able to talk about it this entire week, due to being sick. So I do want to discuss it. I do want to give my thoughts on it. I'm not saying if it's going to be long. I'm not saying if it's going to take forever, whatever the case may be. I'm just going to kind of put it out there, leave it there, and then, move on. I ain't been off for a week, so ain't no way I'm finna just get off after an hour and a half. Y'all crazy. I'm finna, wring this towel dry. So first and foremost, I'm about to post in the comment section for y'all the link. If y'all come up in here, man, come up in here for real. Don't be scared, man. Let's get a debate going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hop up in here, man. Give your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Don't be just watching and just creeping. You feel me? Hop up in here. Show your face. Say what you got to say. Don't be scared, especially if I'm talking about something that's hurting your feelings and making you feel away. You think I'm just capping. But with that being said, so I have a article that I'm going to be pulling up coming from Terrence Crawford. I also have a video that I'm going to be showing that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen. Not sure if it's recent. Not sure if it's something that we should be giving any type of attention to. But either way it goes, it's out there nonetheless, right? So there's this. Let that pull up. These guys see right there. Crawford fires back at critics. I haven't seen anybody jump in to fight Terrence Crawford. Now, we all know Terrence Crawford has been a lot more vocal than usual as of late. Obviously, he's been saying a lot of things. Some think it's holding weight. Other think he's capping. Obviously, we know he has a fight coming up against Aviasan, BLK Prime, getting paid a bag. A lot of people are skeptical whether or not this fight's actually going to happen. A lot of people were, kind of sitting on their hands, like, hey, twiddling their thumbs. Is this really legit? Will this fight be taking place like they're saying? Who knows? With that being the case, Crawford has found himself saying a lot more than what he usually says. Obviously, he's his own promoter now, which makes a lot of sense. Crawford said that himself in the video he released a while back, week and a half ago, basically trying to expose Errol Spence and Al Heyman for trying to manipulate him and play him on the promotions. Excuse me, on the negotiations. Let's take a look here. When is it enough? An open-ended question Terrence Crawford often finds himself asking the boxing community throughout the entirety of the newly turned 35-year-old's career. He made it look incredibly easy in the squared circle. But despite nabbing world titles in 3 separate weight divisions, including an undisputed run at 140, the current welterweight WBO belt holder repeatedly finds himself under immense scrutiny. In a vacuum, Crawford believes that his skills are otherworldly. Nevertheless, regardless of his ability to render his foes unconscious and in spite of being equally adept at fighting out of both the southpaw and orthodox stance, Crawford's level of opposition is left much to be desired. That scathing criticism, however, was nearly a thing of the past, as Crawford was unsteamably on the verge of facing current unified champion Errol Spence Jr. Although their showdown appeared to be signed, sealed, and delivered, in the end, Crawford admittedly frustrated, abruptly left the negotiating table. In doing so, Crawford's naysayers have come out in full force. Those unforgiving words, by and large, have rolled off of Crawford's back. In his opinion, even some of the more elite fighters in the world aren't chopping at the bit to face him. A lot of people, they can say whatever they want, said Crawford on the DAZN Boxing Show. They can tweet out that I haven't fought nobody, but all my career, I haven't seen anybody jumping for joy to fight Terrence Crawford. On the contrary, one fighter who quickly accepted the opportunity to face Crawford is fringe contender David Avanson, with the two officially penciled in to face off on December 10th in the Crawford's hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. The Russian native has exuded confidence. Unsurprisingly, Crawford will saunter to the ring on fight night as a gargantuan favorite, but while many are expecting him to pick up an effortlessly victory, Crawford believes that he can use Avanson as a stepping stone to display his in-ring artistry. Everybody believes that I'm the best fighter in the world until I show. Everybody don't believe that I'm the best fighter in the world until I show them. I'm not mad at it. Talk your shit. I think Crawford should talk his shit. Now, does that mean anybody's going to care? Does that mean it's going to change the trajectory? Does that mean it's going to change the perspectives of a lot of people's minds and the thoughts? Let's be 100. Probably not. I'm not even going to lie to you. The only way we resolve, the only way we understand, the only way we put together, a solution is they got to fight each other. Simple as that. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But some people are trying to question the fact, whose fault is it? Who should we be putting the blame on? You see, there's a particular video that I want to talk about. Just because my Wi-Fi is being this way, I'm going to leave it at that tonight, y'all. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is not going to be acting up the same exact way. You know what I'm saying? Praying for better days. Y'all already know what it is, man. Much love to the people. Enjoyed everybody tonight. We're going to be back in full force again. As you guys can see, I'm not sick anymore. I'm back again. So tomorrow we got the Fluence Lounge going on. I'm going to drop the daily check-in tonight. I know it's late, but it is what it is. I'm going to be back Sunday. I'm going to be going crazy with the stream. So it's just good to be back. Much love to the people, man. Enjoy y'all Friday night. Here forever. Gone not too long. Salute to the people. I'm out.